My wonderful YouTube family. This is probably my 4th or 5th try to do this video. I keep getting interrupted. So maybe I'll eventually get it done on this take. Today I really wanted to make this video to go over something that I haven't found another video that goes over this in depth like I want to. And I really want to help you pick your first pad or set of pads when you first start your journey in the reusable world, really. Kind of put a brain dead there, but and we usually all start with pads and then go into like cups and stuff like that, so that would be for another video, but for today I really want to do the pad part of it. And I'm sorry if I move around and I go really pasty white and then back and I'm normal. I'm in my bedroom locked away from my kids. We can all understand that if you're a parent with kids. And I'm using my bedroom French door blinds for a light source. So if I move, I kind of go pasty. So it's very sorry about that. I also have a cold, so if my pronunciation's not entirely on spot, I'm sorry. Can't really do much about that. The winter is kicking my rear this year. Okay, so when you are looking to start reusables, you usually automatically just dive right in, buy from all types of different makers, and just kind of have to see how they go. Well, this video is going to help you decide which styles are going to work best for you based on the way that you bleed. First, you will need to decide how you bleed, what type of bleeder you are. Are you a front bleeder, a center bleeder, a back bleeder, or a center to back bleeder, or if it changes based on your situation during the day, or if it changes from day to night based on you laying down versus sitting up and standing, those kind of things. But just have a think about it. These are things that we never thought about when we were first told about our cycles. We were just told this happens every month, here's the products that you use, deal with it. And we were never taught to discover what type of bleeder we are and things like that. So you really do need to determine that first. Like for me, for instance, as an example, I am a front bleeder only. I do not bleed anywhere else, any other time. Doesn't matter at all if I'm laying down or not. I am a front bleeder. And just to kind of give you a visual of what a front bleeder is, just so that you may think that you're a front bleeder, but you're actually a center bleeder, or vice versa. I am a front bleeder, and I'm just showing me my handy dandy panties. Don't judge, okay? I like comfort now. So, I am a front bleeder. This is where I bleed, literally, nowhere else at all. This is front. This would be considered center, and then obviously back. After you determine what kind of bleeder you are, then think about how many pads you will need if you're looking to buy a set, or just how many you would need to get you through your cycle kind of deal. Base it off of how many tampons you go through or how many pads you go through, depending on what day of your cycle you're on. So on your heavy days, if you go through 5 tampons, buy that many pads for you to start off with. It may change. And same with your light days and vice versa, okay? Base it off of what you're already currently using. These are not going to be, cloth pads are not going to be this magical unicorn that you put in your underwear and they hold 10 hours worth of menstrual fluid. It's not like that. They're very similar in regards to how they hold up, like they are with disposables and stuff. So determine that. Go with that as your first bit of information going into your first order. Now, if you're a front bleeder like me, I'm going to give you some things to consider in regards to shapes and gussets, which are the width across after they're snapped. This is the gusset part after it's snapped up. You will hear that terminology used when you're looking to purchase pads. So let's get started. If you're a front bleeder, I highly recommend that you do either a slight flare or a straight style, or even a partial contour style. Do not go with anything like majorly flared, I don't think, because if you're a front bleeder, you typically just, you just bleed straight. You don't like dissipate and you just go everywhere, you know what I mean? When I say slight flare, here we go, I mean something like this. So I've got rounded up here and then slightly contoured down here. Now, most people would wear this just like this, right? But if you're a front bleeder, it's got to go like this. And the reason I say that is because this is shorter than this, and this needs to be in the front for you. You're going to want to look for pads and makers that have either a front bleeder option or they have this style in regards to one end is longer than the other so that you can flip it around to have in the front. And this is probably going to show it a little bit better after it's snapped up. So, you see what I mean? And then it's got just a little extra more protection in the front. And then this isn't going to be all bunching weird in your underwear and hanging off the side of your underwear kind of deal. I don't think I really need to show you these in the underwear. It's kind of self-explanatory. As you can tell from the back, it really does show it a lot better in regards to one end is longer than the other. My perfect length is a 9-inch. I don't need anything bigger than that. And gusset, honestly, I'm fine with 2.5 all the way up to 3. Just depends on the pad. They change based off the pad style. And what I mean by that is this is another pad that I have. I really, really like these pads because, again, they're long and short. And this is an 8-inch. But the gusset is a lot larger. So that's what I mean by your gussets can change based off the style. So definitely always look for something that has a longer end than the other. Okay? Because they will be your Goldilocks probably in regards to perfect for your body. Another thing I should mention, the majority of my stash is my own personal stash of pads I've made. God, that didn't come out right. I'm so sorry. These are the ones that I make for my company. So they actually work perfect for me, and they do. I know it's horrible and probably sounds really biased, but they do. They were absolutely perfect for me, and they do make up a majority of my stash. And I've already got the supplies, so I've got a little pad crazy here and there. But I do have other makers, so I just want to make that clear. I do have other makers that I'm going to show you so that you can see what I mean by some styles just don't work for people. This style does work great for back bleeders, even center bleeders, because you still have a good portion in the middle and then in the back, okay? So this is just like a really great shape. My customers absolutely love this shape. So that is my 9-inch. And that's a slight flare. Now, this, I absolutely love this pad, and I love the maker. Her name is Rebecca, and she is the maker behind All Fluffed Up, and she has a very, very well-known shape. Okay, I haven't seen anyone else with a shape like hers. I love this pad, and it barely works for me only because the sides of this pad start to hang off my underwear because of how far I have to pull it up. This part is perfect, obviously, for the front, but the gusset is really, really small. It's like a 2.5 easily, maybe less. It might be 2.25. I don't know if you can see that very well, but see it's like much bigger. Mine is. So this can work for you if you're a front bleeder. If a style doesn't work for you, just get it in a longer version, because a lot of times if it's in a longer version, you can pull it up and it's still long enough in the middle that it's not going to start hanging off your underwear, if that makes sense. I believe this is a 9-inch. Yeah, this is a 9-inch. So that is All Fluffed Up. She's wonderful to work with, and she's a very well-known style, okay? The next one is Mama Couture. Now, hers don't work at all for me. At all. They are so unbelievably tiny. Like, this looks big to you. But if you put it up next to my 9-inch, and this is an 8-inch. Or something like that, 8.5-inch. Look at how tiny this thing is. Okay? It's just super duper tiny. And when snapped up, I have no room to work with for gussets to pull it up without bunching my underwear like crazy. Yeah, this should show it a lot better.
Mommy!
Hold on. What?
I gotta get into stuff.
Okay, well tell him to get out of my stuff.
Oh, you tell me to get out of this stuff.
Can you please go do it? I'm busy. Okay. I thought I was safe. Anyways, so as you can see, they are very tiny compared to mine. Like, here's the edge of my fingers right here on mine. And what I mean by they bunch up my underwear really bad, I'm going to take my handy-dandy underwear again, put them in, and I just have regular, Hanes underwear. I haven't started making my own scrundies yet, which I need to get onto because I have the pattern now. Bad on it. So if I were to put it up where I would need the coverage, look at how it bunches my underwear. And starts to hang off. See what I mean? And when I say hang off, it means your butt cheeks start to pull this down to compensate for the fabric and stuff. So her pads are awesome, but they don't work for me at all. So that would probably be a maker that would need to have, I'd have to have like a longer size. Or I just wouldn't purchase from again. But it's, like I said, it's not a default of her quality, her pad. It just doesn't work for my body. The next one, sorry, I'm like, oh, everything's dying on me here. My next one is Annie Bell's Essentials. Heather is wonderful to work with. She doesn't really do customs, but we did a trade, so she did this one specially for me. And I love the pad. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at those colors. Purple's my favorite color. But again, because it's an even, just better show you this way, because it's even, it doesn't really work well, because once you start to pull this up to the front, you start to get the over the panty drooping. But I still use it. I still just make it work because I love it so much. Yurtcraft. So this one is another maker. She's super, super high quality maker. Everyone knows about her. She's like the beast of all pads in regards to you can't touch her quality because she's just amazing. Okay. But it doesn't work for me because it's even. So once I start to pull this up, and because there's these larger flares than mine, I start to get really bad butt droopage. I don't even know what you'd call it, but you would understand what I'm talking about if you've experienced it. So Yurtcraft, love you. Your quality is amazing, but can't wear you. Novel Red, though. Novel Red is one that you can actually almost make work for you. And the reason why is because of her straight style. So you can pull this up and you're not going to get that droopage on the edge of your underwear. So when you button her up, hold on. Did it button? I guess it buttoned and I didn't hear it. So she doesn't really bunch at all. And then you have just barely a hair longer, I think, but not by much. So this one I can make work for me, and it does work. And this is a 9-inch, so I think if I went up higher, maybe a 10 or 11-inch, hers would probably be perfect for me. Oh God, my legs are dying. I'm sorry. I've been trying to video this all day. My kids keep interrupting me, or I get phone calls from their school. Okay, sorry. Now, another style is my other style. I haven't really found anyone else that does this style. It has a little bit of staining, so don't mind that. But this is what it looks like. It's very different. I haven't found anyone else who makes this. This is my 8-inch. Yeah, it only comes in 8-inch. And as you can see, one side is longer than the other. So it's awesome. And I love traveling in these if I'm going to be sitting down for a long time because I have that wider coverage. So that's something to consider for, like I said, different scenarios or situations that you're in. This is a wrap wing. This is also mine that I made. Some people love these and other people hate these. It's kind of one of those, you either love it or hate it. These are what I started out with. These were the only style that I used to make. And then I got more and more into it, and it evolved from there, basically. This is what they look like buttoned up, snapped up, whatever. And my gusset on these is pretty big, which is, I think, okay, because if I'm pulling it up. Now, these ones work, and I never used to have issues with them, but I would get panty bunching. Not too terribly bad. That would irritate me, but I do get it with wrap wings. And this is a 10-inch. So I think as long as you go up in sizes, you should be fine. Now, these two are my ones I got from Wisely Done, and Jamie did these for me. And these ones are 8 inches, and I absolutely adore these, but they don't work for me, of course. So, this is what they look like snapped up. Again, because they're even. Wrap wings don't work well for front bleeders at all. At all. Because us trying to pull them up where they need to be just messes up our underwear really bad. So, I love these, but they don't work for me. At all. But I just can't give them up. I just love looking at them because they're so gorgeous. But when Jamie and I did our trade, she sent me a surprise pad. There it is. She sent me a surprise pad, and it's perfect. I absolutely love this pad. So this is how most people would view it. See, one end is longer than the other, but this is how I wear it. And it's super, super thin. She does have a front bleeder option, which I haven't tried, but on our next trade, I'm definitely going to try. Super tiny. It works great for me. I absolutely love it. And I think that it's awesome that she sent this as my little freebie because it's just perfect for me. Come on, unsnap you. There we go. Sorry. And it's a straighter style, so it works perfect. I do feel that lightly rounded, squared off ones are awesome for me. I can't stand the totally squared off ones. They start to just make me want to rip my eyeballs out. I know that's horrible. And some people totally love them, and that's awesome. Totally cool. But personally, I just can't get over the way they look. It just is just wrong to me. It's just wrong to me. So, that is just me personally. Nothing wrong with the pads. It's just personal thoughts from me. I think, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go on to liners. The smaller you go is when you really have to start paying attention to the shape. An example. These are Yurt Crafts little 6.75-inch panty liners. They are beyond small. I mean, like, beyond small. Okay? And when I got these, I was like, oh, they're so cute. They'll be perfect. No. No. Okay? These things are just tiny. And the problem that you run into when you put these little bad boys in is, again, they have a really tiny gusset. I think it's like a 2.25 or 2.5. Probably the 2.25. Snap it up. You've already got a little bit of panty bunching, and I haven't even pulled it up to where it needs to be. That is where it would need to be. That's what it does. So your craft and I have no love at all, sadly. But I still love the way they look. So they are awesome, but I can't use them. All fluffed up. It's the same style, but this is her 8-inch. But because it's so small, it doesn't work for me in regards to this starts to hang over my underwear. The back does. As I start to pull it up. But I still love it. And I still try and make it work, even though it doesn't. This one is mine that I made. It's a 7-inch wrap wing style. And it does have a little bit of a bigger gusset, but it bunches really, really bad for me. So these ones basically just look pretty in my stash, sadly. These are my Miso Funky. They don't work for me. And they don't work for me purely because they are even. That's just the way it is. They're even. So one side isn't bigger or longer than the other. So I can't pull these up to make them work at all. But I still love them. And I still make them work. And I just get over the panty bunching. The problem with panty bunching is you start to have shifting. That's the biggest problem I find, is you start to have shifting. Sadly, well, not sadly, because I do love Wisely Dunn's style. The only other panty liners that work for me are the ones that I made. They're the only ones. These are just a different feel. These ones are the same style. They're just made a little different. This is my 8-inch flared that I took and turned into a surged version. And this is just a piece of cotton velour with microflace on the back. It's perfect for like an everyday liner. But as you can see, one side is longer than the other. It's kind of really hard to tell. There we go. This side's longer than the other. And it has a little bit of flare to where I can pull it up and it gives you that little bit of extra coverage. Same with this. It's the same thing, just made a little differently. It's got a core in it. But it still buttons. I don't know why I'm pulling it buttons up. Snaps up. Okay, it's got a string. Don't mind the string. These, though, are my absolute favorite. And, of course, the ones that take the most work. Of course. These ones. And they are the ones that have longer side than the other. They're a contour, but they're super tiny. So you snap them up, and they are just perfect. I can't even tell you how perfect they fit in my underwear. And because there's not a flare or anything, when I go to pull them up, I don't have the panty droopage on the other side. So they're awesome. I love them. I need to make more of them, but I just haven't. So that concludes the video. That just are... Sorry, it's my daughter. Those are just my thoughts. They are just what I've encountered, how I feel about them. You can take this and discover all these different work-at-home moms. And some of them do offer front bleeder options. Some of them don't. Some of them just have a set pattern. But some of them, you can turn the pattern around like mine. You can just flip it around and it works. And some of them, if they have that type of pattern, you can ask them, hey, can you just flip the print around so that it works for me as a front bleeder? Or whichever you prefer. I hope this was helpful. I tried to cover all the bases without taking up too much time, but it's still like a 20-some-odd minute video. I'm really sorry. But it definitely is something that needed to be discussed and gone over in more depth. So, I hope this helps. I really do. And I'm sorry I didn't have any more makers to kind of compare with, but I think you got the gist of it in regards to some of the styles and things to watch out for. If you're a back bleeder, obviously just flip things the other way from a front bleeder. And if you're a center bleeder, well, you basically are the lucky crop and can wear basically anything. So, totally jealous of you. But anyways, I will talk to you all soon. I have a video coming up on the Eva Cup firmness to do some comparisons on that. So that will be coming up right afterwards. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please comment below and I will get back to you. And subscribe, like this video, and follow me to keep up with anything else that I put on. I'll talk to you later. Bye.